So let's take you through the grid for MightE Bambino Heat 2. It's going to be Ansel in the GP plate. Alongside will be Albert Farrow. Now this is based on the results of Heat 1 earlier on today. Freddie Baker and Sydney Nell on row 2. Cooper Earsman and Ralph Martin, row 3. Daniel Stangarian and Oakley Riggs on row 4 with Harley Bradbury Stretton and Elijah Tsang, row number 5. Max Joy and Jensen James Williams on row 6. And completing the order is Arthur Bath, Hadley Jarvis, Meredith Fang, and Albert Batchelor, I think, was a non-starter last time, but we'll see if Albert is going to be on the grid. No penalties issued after the first race. So some great racing. We have had some results also come through. Charlie Clough was declared the winner. Harry Williams actually got a post-race penalty, dropping the number 44 down to 16th at the finish for gaining an unfair advantage. So the top three, Charlie Clough, Josh Cook and Ronnie Carter. Ronnie Carter taking the fastest lap of the race in that one. C50 Bambino, Riley Murrow and Austin Oman, 81 thousandths adrift at the flag. And Austin Oman having the fastest lap of the race. Henry Algar, Ethan McClelland and Harper Das rounding out the top 5 overall, with Amelia DL rounding out the top 6 in that race. Army Cadet, Colby Patterson taking the win by 9 tenths ahead of Nathaniel Hodges, who also took the fastest lap of the race. Alfie Davidson, Jensen Chalk and Harvey Bacon took the top 5. No penalties issued post-race. And then Mini-Max, Oscar Cartmail, Max Haller, Emily Cooper rounding out the top 3, followed by Harry Friel and Logan Cowling. So a bit of a difficult first race for Daniel Hartley, who needs to start fighting in the next 2 heats and also the final. Also, big thank you to everyone that has been involved on the chat, and it's really good to hear from you all who you're cheering on. And we know that it's great that you might have a favourite driver, but then there's also people that have multiple favourite drivers. And the good thing about the paddock here in the Bambino Kart Club, everyone knows everybody. And great to see that there are over 100 people watching the stream so far. And what's more, whenever you like, you can come back to this stream here on the Alpha Live YouTube channel at any point. You might even, if you're watching the Bambino Kart Club Facebook page. Hello and welcome, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. That's normally a usual thing that's said either by myself or my good friend who's in the Bahamas at the moment. Hello, Mr. Henry Baudet. Who's having a nice bit of time over, not just getting some sunshine, but also Henry's helping out Team Bahamas with regards to the forthcoming FIA Motorsport Games this year, which will take place at Le Castellet at Circuit Paul Ricard in France later on this year in late October. Last week of October, matter of fact. So there, for those watching at home, you can see that is Robin Bath having a chat with BKC race director Dan Ashton, who I had a good catch up with, and always good to see people in the paddock having general conversations. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of ASMR before both our voices come back in, James. But you've done three of the 4 rounds. I know that Jake Sanson. I have to give a shout out to Jake, who also did commentary on one of the races. I think it was GYG.
Yeah.
But you know, this championship's been ultra competitive this year. I mean, who've been the standout performers for you in a couple of the classes this season?
So really, in what we're looking at now in the Mighty E's, you know, Freddie Baker has come on a whole heat this season. Has done an absolute stellar job to keep in contact with Ansel as well. Grayson Whitley's done amazingly as the season's gone on as well. Emily Hackett's performance at Clay Pigeon was just absolutely unbelievable, taking the win, lapping pretty much 3/4 of the field there in a very rain, sun, all sorts of weather day up in down in sunny Dorchester, near where I am. It's been an absolutely incredible season so far.
I still remember going to down to Dorset, down to the West Country. I haven't been there in many a year, but it was my first trip. I've been to Clay Pigeon before a number of times. One track I haven't visited is Mansell Raceway, owned by the legend himself, Nigel Mansell, 1992 Formula One world champion, who actually celebrates the 30th anniversary of that season this year. And also at the Williams Conference Centre, they actually have old Red 5 in there, which, funny enough, was driven by Sebastian Vettel, now who will be a retired Formula One driver at the end of this season, 4-time Formula One world champion between 2010 and 2013, seeing out his tenure with Aston Martin, Aramco Cognizant Formula One team, and that is a mouthful. And even for me on a Sunday morning, that's not Sunday morning, nearly afternoon, that's not bad going, is it?
No, not at all. You know, I think the thing is with this championship, there's just been absolutely just incredible racing across the classes. Austin Amar and Riley Morrow have been at it all season, literally all season long, swapping places. It's been absolutely incredible for them guys as well. And I just think that just to see these guys develop as the season goes on has just been incredible. You know, Ansel's done well, Freddie Baker's done well, all the others that we've mentioned have just done exceptionally well. And to cope with, you know, the heat of today and keeping hydrated and concentration is just a massive achievement for these young gentlemen and ladies, and it's just been incredible, really.
Yeah, air temperature currently 29 degrees Celsius. It's not getting any easier out there. I mean, brollies are being actually held over the drivers, and very shortly we'll be getting things underway with our second of the heats here at the Bambino Kart Club season finale for 2022. Looking forward to seeing what future developments are in the pipeline for Darren Beavers and the whole team here at BKC for next year. They do normally have a little bit of a winter excursion over to continental Europe, more predominantly Spain. They actually went.
We wish we all could go to Spain.
I'm heading over to there.
Well, you are.
I am later on this year for the second time this season to the same circuit as well, which is Kart in Campillos, which the Bambino Kart Club have actually frequented before as well, 1,588 metres. Let's take you through the grid. It's MightE Bambino, heat number 2. So, MightE Bambino, Heat 2. It's going to be Ansel in the GP plate alongside Albert Farrow, Freddie Baker and Sidney Nell. Sidney Nell will be on row 2. Cooper, Earsman and Ralph Martin, row 3. Row 4, it's going to be Daniel Stangarean and Oakley Riggs. Harley Bradbury Stretton and Elijah Tsang will be on row 5, completing the top 10. Max Joy, Jensen, James Williams, Arthur Bath, nearly said Avabath there. I hope, Robin, you didn't hear that. You probably will, because they can hear us at the PA. Hadley Jarvis and Meredith Fang will be rounding out the 15 strong, and then also Albert Batchelor looks to be on the grid this time, as the kart has actually pinged the timing beam as it went out of the dummy grid. So the good thing is, it's going to be an interesting day. We've already had Ansel picking up one win. Can we have somebody else, like maybe, say, Freddie Baker and Albert Farrow might be having an opportunity of doing so? It's all about a case of how these drivers cope. especially in these not these wet weather conditions, but as long as everyone is keeping hydrated, which myself and James. The thing is, it might be 29 degrees outside, but in a commentary box where we actually do have the luxury, and it's a very, very minute one, it is a fan. It's doing something. I don't know whether it's being 100% effective, but however, the adrenaline keeps us going through. Green flag waves at the back of the grid. MightE Bambino, heat number 2, about to get underway. We're waiting for the red lights to go out, and they do so now. Slow start from the number 22. And that's Hadley Jarvis as they make their way through Oblivion and Crook for the first time of asking. Through Fine Lady, up Manuel's Bank and on the run towards Christmas Corner. There's the number 12 of Sydney Nell, getting very close towards Ralph Martin. Oh, now Sydney Nell has just pulled to the left-hand side. I'm not too sure if the motor or the battery have just failed on the kart, but Sydney Nell will not have an opportunity to close in on the rest in front, and that's a real shame for Sydney, who was starting at the sharper end of the grid, as now they make their way through Wilkins into Osiers, and it's Ansel leading, Albert Farrow in the top 2. Third, it's Freddie Baker. Fourth, it's Ralph Martin in the number 32 as they go into the boot for the first time of asking. So down the hill into Pit Bend. Farrow is the meat in the sandwich of a GP piece of bread on the top part and a UK piece of bread at the bottom part. Freddie Baker puts in the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 3.587. Farrow in the wheel tracks of Ansel. Now Baker looking towards the inside. Don't try and tell me you're going to go 2 for 1 at the same time through Christmas Corner. Freddie Baker slots in between Albert Farrow and Ansel and could have had a buy one get one free on the spot at Christmas Corner. My goodness, Freddie Baker. That electric motor must be doing the Watusi roundabout now. The amount of momentum that Freddie Baker got out of Fine Lady in Oblivion and Crook really showcased that if you tee it up nicely, that is going to happen. And now Baker up the inside of Ansel into the boot, takes the lead on lap number 2, coming through the final few corners. But these three were at loggerheads. Freddie Baker had that massive moment coming through Osiers on the final lap of the race whilst battling away with Ansel. Top 3 covered by less than a quarter of a second through Oblivion and Crook and into Fine Lady. And behind them, Ralph Martin and Cooper Earsman are battling away. Here comes Ansel up the inside of Freddie Baker through Christmas Corner. Now retaking the lead through the first half of lap number 3. 4.5 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap on the timer. And it's going to be very, very close indeed. One of the things that these drivers will hear is not a traditional internal combustion engine. They'll hear the whine of the electric motor. They'll feel what the kart is doing. They'll hear bumps. They'll hear noises. They'll hear when they hit the curves or go off onto a runoff area. As now Freddie Baker through the top part of the boot goes side by side with Ansel, and Ansel goes round the outside, shuts the door. They've got one kart up ahead, looks to be Meredith Fang in the number 78, which that is the case. They get through rather neatly there as Freddie Baker has got Albert Farrow closing in very, very quickly indeed. So now they head up towards Christmas Corner, up Manuel's Bank, nearly halfway through the time so far, as they're going to make it 3.5 minutes to go, coming through Inkermans and down on the run towards Ashby's. They'll have Hadley Jarvis just up ahead. Freddie Baker up the inside of Ansel to retake the lead, and Albert Farrow nearly had a chance. Blue flags are being shown, so nice spatial awareness there from Hadley Jarvis to get out of the way. Knew that faster traffic was coming, and then we'll have Ralph Martin and Cooper Earsman rounding out the top 10. It's Oakley Riggs, Harley, Bradbury, Stretton, Albert Batchelor and Daniel Stangarian, with Elijah Tsang rounding out the top 10. Albert Batchelor from last on the grid, halfway through the field, and we're over halfway through the timer. Meanwhile, Freddie Baker leads the way. Ansel, last lap around at 1 minute 0.644. And it's close between the two. Ansel was looking up the inside of Oblivion. Freddie Baker did that move last time, so did Ansel on that previous heat. Very, very close opportunistic overtake. Ansel looking up through Manuel's Bank, side by side with Freddie Baker. through into Christmas, retakes the lead. They've now got the number 24 of Arthur Bath just up ahead as it's side by side between Baker and Farrow through Inkermans. Farrow backs out of it, discretion the better part of valour, stays behind and waits for another opportunity because there's still going to be another few more laps to go. 2 minutes and 20 plus an additional lap still remaining on the counter. You can hear the tyres squealing for mercy right there coming through Osiers, like literally as they're bouncing up and down. And having driven the Rotax Project T20 myself personally, it's a very different sensation to having the noise of an internal combustion engine. You're actually feeling a bit more connected to the kart and what you can hear. And if there's a problem, or if there is something, you know, like whether there's you'll feel all the bumps through your coccyx. You'll hear all the noises, all the wind rushing past you. Run wide there from Freddie Baker, right on the wheel tracks of Ansell. That could have nearly given an opportunity for Albert Farrow to get through. Freddie Baker was putting a nose up the inside of Ansell going through into Christmas corner. Thought better of it. 1.5 minutes remain on the counter. Ansell just looking ahead, not looking over the left or right shoulders. Ralph Martin and Cooper Earsman are within pretty much earshot of each other for fourth place, as we've had a little bit of a moment for the 31, that's Oakley Riggs, and the number 51 of Daniel Stangarian, which means that Harley Bradbury Stretton might be up into a genuine 7th place as the top novice. Coming into the boot once again, a minute on the clock remains, ladies and gentlemen. So after this particular lap, we'll get the final lap board out. We're on to lap 6, about to start lap 7, as that's number 78 of Meredith Fang again being passed as side by side. Freddie Baker again, that little cheeky move up the inside through Oblivion, getting the inside run for Crook. Ansell's now going to try and counter-attack here into Christmas corner. Gets through, retakes the lead. Albert Farrow has had the ringside seat probably for more than he would probably like right about now, and would want to hope to get an opportunity to get through past the pair of them. I mean, Freddie Baker nearly got 2 for the price of 1 earlier on in this race as we head into the final 20 seconds. Fastest lap of the race is by the race leader Ansell, 1 minute, 0.644 seconds. As they head through into Osiers. Down the back straight away one more time. This is going to be the penultimate time of asking. As Freddie Baker very close on the back bumper of Ansell, going through into the boots. Baker not able to do the over-under on that particular occasion, but gets the slipstream coming down the start-finish straight. Last lap board is out this time. Ansell sets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute, 0.622. Freddie Baker was jumping up and down in his cart, runs wide coming out of Fine Lady. Albert Farrow is in the mix for this one. Freddie Baker looking towards the outside, and he's actually measuring it. Can he get something done on that particular occasion? Did not have the run, but now looking towards the outside. Don't tell me you're going to try and do the over-under through Inkermans. Nearly did that, did Baker. Ansell going defensive into Ashby's. This is going to be close. Farrow is there or thereabouts. Baker switching to the outside, heading into Wilkins. We've then got Osiers, the boot and pit bend. All run wide there from Ansell. They've got a back marker up ahead, and Baker takes the lead through into Osiers for the final time. Freddie Baker nailed that one to the lamppost. But now they come down the back straightaway into the boots for the final time. It's going to be nip and tuck. The top 3 were 4/10, and now Ansell is going up the inside of Freddie Baker. Can Freddie Baker get the undercut? He's going to try and do it. It's going to be a run to the line once again. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Ansell once again. 2 for 2 for the night for the GP plate. 72 thousandths of a second was the winning margin for Ansell, who carries on the 100% success rate for today, taking pole position in time qualifying, winning Heat 1 and now winning Heat 2. And that means that over the last 2 days so far, Ansell has 4 race wins. He won Heat 1 and Heat 3 yesterday, took a second in Heat 2, but finished 12th in the final. And that's very, very crucial because Freddie Baker has been very, very close indeed. Albert Farrow, good run from Albert, now hasn't done all of the championship, has done rounds 2, 3 and 5. So partial championship. This could probably springboard Albert Farrow a little bit further up the order. So good result for Albert Farrow in 3rd place. Ralph Martin and Cooper Earsman running at the top 5. Albert Batchelor, brilliant race. Stone dead last to 6th. 10 places gained. Daniel Stangarean in 7th, ahead of Harley Bradbury Stretton. Oakley Riggs in 9th, ahead of Max Joy with Elijah Tsang. Jensen James Williams, Sydney Nell, Arthur Bath, Hadley Jarvis and Meredith Fang rounding out the 16 strong. And with that being said, next up, it's MightE Bambino.